Hello, everyone. It's Victoria with Nutrition by Victoria. Welcome to today's video. I have a Master's of Science in Human Nutrition and a Bachelor's of Science in Biology, and I'm here to help you build a high-functioning metabolism by showing you that carbohydrates are good for you. They've been quite demonized in the last 30 years, so people have been eating less, and our chronic disease rates have been increasing exponentially as people choose animal foods over plant foods, okay? High carb plant foods. And even amongst the plant-based community, they're really failing their audience because they focus on calories in, calories out, low calorie density. You can eat too much carbs. There's this fear of sugar, okay? All of that is what leads to a 3-2-1-X vegan and somebody going animal based. So today we are going to be talking about Dr. Boz, and I've been asked to talk about her in the comments that you guys have been leaving. So I've been making some shorts. Um, I've been remixing her shorts and making my own, and just calling her out for not being a very well educated person in nutritional science. So let's get right into this. Go ahead and share my screen with you guys, and we are going to get going. Okay, so first things first. Okay, when I saw this little clip of Dr. Boz, I was like, okay, here we go. I was like, wow, she's literally showing her audience her glucose tolerance. Okay, so for those of you who don't know Dr. Boz, she is a keto doctor. I believe she has a medical degree and she practices internal medicine. I think that if you are actually one of her patients, you should probably sue for medical malpractice because she is literally making you sicker with her advice, and she's showing her audience that she has impaired glucose tolerance. So I'm just going to play this again. Okay, so she's kind of whole food, unprocessed, healthy snack, right? Like mocking the eating of plant foods, whole plant foods, right? If you are having this kind of glucose response to eating grapes, okay, because that's what she ate was grapes. And that's why I said she failed a glucose tolerance test. It means that you have insulin resistance. So even though you're eating your keto diet and you don't have carbohydrates coming in, your body is programmed to be insulin resistant. Okay. So the reason for this is because of the lack of sugar in the diet. So when you put sugar back into the diet, you have impaired glucose tolerance because this enables you to store more fat. So if you watch the whole reel, that's what she says is when this happens, your body stores a bunch of fat. The insulin promotes fat storage when it's elevated like this because it does. And the reason for that, if we pull up my most favorite study in the world, the dietetic factors influencing the glucose tolerance and the activity of insulin by H.P. Hemsworth, who is the father of the glucose tolerance test. Okay. This woman, as a doctor, should know that a oral glucose tolerance test uses about 50 to 100 grams of glucose solution, pure glucose solution in water. You're going to drink that, and then they're going to test your blood glucose afterwards. Okay. If you have a number like what she planted with fruit, which fruit has less of an impact on your blood sugar because it contains fiber, water, polyphenols, and a nice glucose fructose combination, whereas a glucose solution, a pure glucose solution, is going to really show your level of insulin sensitivity or resistance because it doesn't contain fructose. Um, then, it's just about being transparent. And that's the reason why this test is used is because sugar tolerance is impaired by starvation or the taking of diets with a high content of fat, while it is improved by taking diets containing excess of sugar. So they use a glucose solution, a controlled glucose solution, to test for sugar tolerance to see how well insulin is actually working. Okay. If your insulin is elevated, like Dr. Boss showed us, then you have insulin resistance, okay? It means that insulin isn't able to do its job correctly to take the sugar out of the blood and put it into the cells. You want insulin to work effectively and efficiently, okay? Taking the sugar out of the blood and putting it into the cells. So that's why high blood sugar indicates insulin resistance because that sugar isn't being able to be put into the blood or the cells from the blood very easily. So Dr. Boz is literally showing the audience that she has insulin resistance because this would be like a glucose tolerance test. Okay, she ate some grapes. She planted a number of 225 after the grapes. That's impaired glucose tolerance. And she's mocking it, which is crazy. I think that she's quite the actress. Okay, we're gonna watch another one. Okay, we're gonna start at the beginning. Ready? So a lot of these carnivore folks keep saying, well, it's not a big deal that my cholesterol level is high, that I'm eating this way because I'm turning fats into energy. Now, Sean Baker just showed us that his cholesterol level was 280. So I'm going to pull that up in just a moment here. And that he's been carnivore for 8 years and that having high cholesterol is a non-issue because I'm metabolizing fats now. Humans cannot metabolize fats very efficiently. So we store it in our body fat and we also deposit it in our vascular system, in our arteries, okay, as plaques. And this plaque buildup is what becomes heart disease, okay? So all of these people, all these carnivore people, okay, who are eating this high fat animal based diet are all at risk for heart disease. And even Paul Saladino changed up his diet after finding out that his ApoB level was high, which is a risk factor for heart disease beyond having high cholesterol. So high cholesterol is just like an indicator, and then you can go look further at ApoB levels. So Sean Baker showed us that his cholesterol was high recently. Where is it? Oh, for some reason I can never find this one. All right, so Sean Baker is showing us that his total cholesterol is 270. I think I said 280. 270 is still very high. So this is what is to be expected on a carnivore diet. Carnivores in nature do not live very long. The reason for that is because of the diet that they eat. They also don't eat very often either. Once a day, once a week. I used to have a snake that would eat once every 3 months, once every 2 months, So that aspect of their natural biology works for them. And especially with reptiles not needing to eat a whole lot is responsible for their longevity. But in humans, our glucose demands are very high. So we are going to be signaled to eat more regularly, and there are more detrimental effects to not eating that we experience due to our need for glucose. Okay, glucose in the human body fuels all of our systems, all of our cells. We need to be generating energy so that we can be alive. Even when we're not taking in glucose, we're running a process called gluconeogenesis, which is the creation of glucose from non-glucose substrates, i.e., protein or lactate as well. Um, and we need this turning on gluconeogenesis means that there's not enough food available. So it slows down our metabolic rate by decreasing oxaloacetate, which needs to be regenerated from or created from pyruvate. So if there's not enough glucose available for pyruvate, oxaloacetate drops, then it slows down our metabolism. This is by default so that we can be encouraged to store energy. That gets back into why our insulin level goes up when we haven't been eating carbohydrates and then carbohydrates come back into the diet. That is to signal de novo lipogenesis to encourage fat storage because we've been in a famine. Our body's programmed to survive. So, can you survive on a keto diet? Sure. For how long? Who knows? The bottom line is you're creating disease in your body by doing so. So, there's a better way. Okay. All right. Let's get back into these shorts. Next up. Okay, we'll do this one. My blood sugar regularly drops. Your cholesterol will be elevated. Isn't that supposed to be? I'm not really sure what just happened, but okay, we're gonna go to another case where Dr. Boz shows us that she has insulin resistance. My blood sugar regularly drops into the 40s at night, especially during my fast. I showed my CG data to you on the last week, and several of you were concerned with others. Blood sugars don't crash like that. My blood sugar. So hypoglycemia, which is what she is experiencing with these blood sugar drops, means that she is running out of glycogen um, and turning on gluconeogenesis. Okay. It also means that there just hasn't been enough carbohydrate in her diet, period, for her blood sugar level to drop that low. Okay. So that's a very low blood sugar. When our blood sugar is that low, glucagon stimulates the liver to make more glucose from protein predominantly. So she is participating in the muscle wastage game that happens when you experience hypoglycemia. The symptoms of insulin resistance are hyperglycemia, which she just showed us previously, and hypoglycemia. So you have unregulated blood sugar control as opposed to regulated blood sugar control, which would mean that you are always staying within normal range. Your blood sugar is never going too high, it's never going too low. You always have regular levels for your blood sugar. Now, blood sugar has to be regulated. Otherwise, we have mechanisms in place to help to bring it back into balance. Blood sugar serves the role of making it so that our cells always have sugar available to turn into energy so that our systems don't fail, okay? When we don't have enough sugar, we can go into a coma, things like that. So we want our blood sugar to stay in normal range. So I think she participates in regular fasting along with her keto diet. So she's just always taxing her system via gluconeogenesis and ketosis. Okay. So I said hypoglycemia is a symptom of insulin resistance. I just explained why. So this woman has very unregulated blood sugar control, very bad blood sugar control. And I think she came to a keto diet because she had insulin resistance and poor blood sugar regulation. So this diet that she's following now is just making it worse. She really needs to go high carb, low fat. But by going high carb, low fat from this point, she's going to experience adaptive thermogenesis. So that is the clinical term for metabolic damage. So basically, her body's going to go through de novo lipogenesis, storing all the food that she takes in as fat in order to help her survive the famine that she's told her body's in. And then she'll start moving towards insulin sensitivity from there. Okay, so insulin sensitivity requires you to have excess of carbohydrate in your diet, which just means that you're eating sufficient carbohydrates, which most people don't know what that means. I try to tell you that it looks like at least 2,000 calories a day for a woman, 2,500 calories a day for a man. And sugar tolerance is impaired by starvation or the taking of diets with a high content of fat. So she could, use some nutrition education. And I feel really bad for her patients because they're getting really bad advice. And she's just, but you give people bad dietary advice, you keep them as clients. Okay. They keep coming back. My goal with my clients is to give you the tools that you need in order to, you know, have success. And then you don't need to come back. But maybe you do need to come back to just troubleshoot some things. That's what I'm here for. But I'm not setting people up to fail. Okay. That's what she's doing, unfortunately. And doctors make most of their money selling product or doing procedures. So that's important to keep in mind as well. In order to sell products or do procedures, you need somebody to require that, okay, through some kind of dis-ease. Okay, let's see what's up next. I really enjoyed making these shorts about Dr. Boz. Okay. Here she is giving us weight loss advice. Okay. My little buddy's waking up, so I'm going to wrap this up soon. No sugar. So, in the same sentence, she says that sugar is bad. No sugar. Okay. Because sugar spikes insulin, right? But a high carbohydrate, low fat diet actually decreases insulin needs. Okay. That's been shown in research. You can eat after sunset, it's fine. That's right. Fat cells can only grow in the presence of elevated insulin. So you want to keep your insulin needs low. If you do that with a high carb, low fat diet, because a high fat, low carb diet elevates insulin. So we are going to listen to the late Dr. John McDougall talking about insulin and sugar.
Most important thing for the consumer and scientists and medical doctors to get straightened out. And it should have been straightened out in the 1920s. That was just basic research, and it was all published by 1940 with Dutch Medical Journal. And it's just no question about it. Peak fat, power fat, increases insulin needs, including sugar, increases the sensitivity of insulin. It was published by Fonsell to the University of Washington in the 90s Journal of Medicine in 78. Fonsell's his name. He took type 2 diabetics, They have synthetic diet, 45% sugar, and then double it, white sugar, not the dextrose, plain table sugar, double it to 85% white sugar. They were expert with diabetes and food. Robert Kepler, back in the 40s and 50s, published his results on treating type 2 diabetics with rice, table sugar, fruit, and juice. And Kepler knew back in the 50s that sugar makes insulin work better and cures. You see, I'm entirely backwards these days, thinking sugar causes diabetes. Well, it's so backward, it's nobody stands a chance. But we're going to get this one simple fact down that has been established. Even in diabetes care 2 years ago, the type 1 diabetics, they dramatically cut sugar intake and decrease the insulin needs of type 1 diabetics. It's always been the same, but everybody's different. Don't eat flavors, roast the sugar, makes you fat when you're not eating. It's the same thing else in terms of that disease out there.
So I just have to keep this information on repeat so that people can understand that what we've been told about sugar is wrong. Okay, so it has to just continue to be repeated. Everything that I am talking about when it comes to insulin and sugar and how insulin needs are dependent on sugar tolerance. So if you have impaired sugar tolerance, your insulin needs are going to be higher to encourage fat storage because your body sensed a famine. Your insulin needs are lower when you have sugar tolerance, good sugar tolerance. You're insulin sensitive. Okay. So this woman is sincere, but sincerely wrong. Okay. Next. All right. Okay. So I think we did. Okay. So we're going to go to this one next.
Too much sugar in the diet is that there's too much insulin in the circulation. Over time, insulin acts like a growth stimulating the replication of skin cells. While not going to stop of skin cells. So how do you stop them from too much sugar?
Again, Dr. Boz is blaming sugar for elevated insulin levels, which the comments here are really fun because someone says, Dose Frigo Latte says sugar, she says too much sugar and shows a fatty donut. That is a great observation. Most people don't understand the macronutrient composition of common foods. A donut is about 50% fat, a cake, 50% fat, cookies, pastries, pizza, pasta, French fries, and people call all of these carbs when they're actually high fat foods. The carbs are just the Trojan horse for the fat. And then somebody said on here, why do you think you know more than the doc? Because I do. It's really a shame that doctors are promoting the information that they are when it's so wrong. And, part of that is just a lack of training. I have more training in nutrition than Dr. Boz does. Dr. Boz didn't get a whole lot of nutritional training in her medical program. She is another doctor using her credentials as a physician to shill the keto diet, which the keto diet puts money in the pockets of the animal agricultural industry because all of the people who are following her, which is a lot, they're all buying more animal products. Same with Sean Baker, same with Anthony Chafee, same with Paul Saladino, same with Primal Bod, Candy Frazier. These people are all shilling for the animal agricultural industry. Okay, so I'm not, it's like lobbying, right, in politics. The other thing is that if a doctor tells people to do something that inevitably makes their body sick and causes insulin resistance, such as the keto diet, then it creates more patience for them. It creates lifelong patience. Oh, just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. You're doing it wrong. Do it this way. You need to fast more. You need to eat more protein. You need to eat more fat. And all the while, somebody's health is just deteriorating under their advice, but they're a doctor, so they can sell their, pills and procedures and continue to profit off of that person. What I am suggesting is a way of eating that improves your health, helps you to lose weight, and prevents you from being a victim and a patient for life. Okay. So I give you the tools in my coaching program to be able to take your health into your own hands by understanding the human metabolism and how it works, and what the fundamentals of an optimal diet and lifestyle are, and then how to apply them for your day-to-day living. Okay, so sugar is only going to provoke too much insulin if you have insulin resistance from your sugar-starved, high-fat diet. That's why I said high-fat, low-carb diets like keto lead to chronically elevated insulin. Insulin does act like a growth hormone. It actually stimulates insulin-like growth factor 1. And what stimulates this the most is animal protein. Okay, animal protein and fat. Insulin-like growth factor 1 not only promotes skin tags, but it also stimulates tumor cell growth. So we're talking about cancer, okay, which is what it can turn into. And then if we have these chronically elevated insulin levels, we're not going to be promoting autophagy. Now, autophagy is where you're getting rid of these damaged and diseased cells out of your body. You need low circulating insulin in order to do that. What diet creates the lowest need for insulin is going to be a high carb, low fat diet where sugar tolerance is promoted and insulin sensitivity is the state. Okay, so these are things that are very important to keep in mind. And it always brings us back to the dietetic factors influencing the glucose tolerance and the activity of insulin, because this is the foundational principle, right? Of whether you're going to be insulin resistant or whether you're going to be insulin sensitive, whether you're going to be promoting disease in your body or whether you're going to be preventing it. Sugar tolerance is impaired by starvation or the taking of diets with a high content of fat, while it is improved by taking diets containing an excess of carbohydrate. High carb, low fat diet for disease prevention. Okay. You guys are probably like, why is she just constantly repeating herself? So I was talking about, where was it? It was one of the Chafee videos. Ooh, this is a good one too. Where did it go to her? Dr. Boss just wants to be on here. So this was Anthony Chafee saying that meat isn't a magic elixir. And I'm saying eating meat causes insulin resistance, heart disease, and cancer, because it does, okay? Doesn't do anything good for anybody. Natural carnivores, mammal carnivores do not live very long, okay? 10 to 15 years, 20 years max, okay? Not a very long life. And you can expect similar results in humans as well. Actually, the Eskimos who ate a predominantly animal-based diet had an average lifespan of 40 years, and they didn't start living longer until they started eating a more mixed diet. Okay, here we go.
Insulin affects over 100 different mechanisms in your body. And so when you elevate that,
So that was Chafee talking about autophagy and how autophagy runs when you have low circulating insulin. But again, the dietary advice is wrong. A high carbohydrate diet does not elevate insulin levels like that. You have to control for the fat. And what these people do is they take somebody on a standard diet, which is a high carb, high fat diet where fat content is too high. It's over 10, 20, 30% of the diet, right? But even at 30%, you could be promoting insulin resistance. It depends on your fitness level, your genetics, your age. So I recommend 10% of the diet being dietary fat if you want to decrease the insulin resistance in your body and have better blood sugar regulation and be moving towards insulin sensitivity, okay? But it's not the carbs' fault. We need carbohydrates to make energy. We need carbohydrates for insulin to work properly. Okay, it's a fact. By taking the sugar out of the diet, you're not fixing the problem. You're just suppressing it. Okay, let's see here. This is a good one. Weight loss on a ketogenic diet is mostly fluid from depleted glycogen stores and then system-wide dehydration in order to buffer the acidity of the ketones and prevent them from acidifying your body. So the weight loss on a keto diet should not be celebrated, especially if this is the outcome is your hands are literally entrenched in cholesterol deposits. Okay. Now, this condition is known as xanthelasma, and it's not reversible. Okay. Usually you see the cholesterol deposits around the eyes, which is what I've seen in people, and it's an indicator of having high cholesterol levels. But depositing in the hands, that's probably the next place it goes when you're eating exclusively, animal-based foods and a high-fat diet. So, yeah, more reasons not to do the keto diet. My goodness. I just think it's crazy that people want to do this. I mean, I get like the weight loss thing, but at what cost, Okay, so next we'll play this one. Okay, where'd she go? I don't know why it does that. It just wants to scroll. Yes. Okay, so what this influencer, Laura Spath, has done is taking the cheese off of a piece of pizza that she got from Costco, I believe, and rolled a hot dog inside of it to make like a burrito, basically a cheese and meat burrito. And I'm saying this snack gives people heart disease, it causes colon cancer. gives people diabetes. So Laura Spath is somebody who has lost a lot of weight eating a keto diet. She's still not very lean, and I think that she's obviously desperate for carbohydrate. Now, the funny thing about this is hot dogs contain sugar. So it's not a sugar-free option here. So she's saying it's a carnivore cheat meal. I'm saying that it would have been a better option, honestly, to take the cheese off the pizza, which is what I used to do when I was a teenager because I hated cheese and it would make me feel sick. And I just eat the pizza crust with the sauce. That would have been a better option. And eating just the hot dog bun with some ketchup on it. Those would be better options than eating this. High fat, low fat. Better yet would be to make your own pizza so you know it's completely oil free. Put your veggies on it. Some people make like a fat-free cheese sauce to put on their pizza. I'm not a big fan, so I just put the veggies in the sauce and I'm good to go. And then like my kids will eat just like hot dog buns with ketchup and lettuce inside of them. We also do get the Morning Star veggie dogs, which only contain zero point 0.5 grams of fat per hot dog, and they contain 9 grams of protein. My kids really like those. Much better option. It's made out of vital wheat gluten with just some spices and sugar added. So there are better options. Okay. This, not to mention processed meat, we're going to get into talking about that next, is a group 1 carcinogen. A group 1 carcinogen means there's strong evidence that they cause cancer. This goes into the same category as cigarettes, alcohol, and asbestos, okay? Processed meats include ham, bacon, salami, and frankfurters, which would be hot dogs. And they are classified as a group 1 carcinogen according to the World Health Organization. Eating processed meat increases the risk of bowel and stomach cancer. Colon cancer is on the rise. Gastrointestinal cancer on the rise. It is affecting both men and women under the age of 50, and it is the leading cause of death in men under the age of 50. Eat the veggie dog instead if you want a hot dog, okay? Because veggie dogs don't cause cancer. Regular hot dogs do. Okay, moving on. We're just going to go over a few more of these. I'm usually biking when I'm making shorts too, by the way. So that's why I'm like moving back and forth. Okay, here we go. Candy. Needs to eat some candy. So candy is giving meat sticks to children for Halloween instead of candy. You can give kids some vegan candy, Skittles, Sour Patch Kids, Twizzlers. These are all low-fat options for candy. Some of them do have oil, but in terms of the amount, it comes out to 0 grams when it registers on the nutrition label. We've got blow pops. We've got, you could do vegan chocolate. You could do, what else is there? Ring pops, Smarties. There's all kinds, okay? Instead of giving a child a carcinogen for Halloween, which is what these meat sticks are, okay? No. It's just a shame. Like, really, these products should have warning labels like cigarettes and alcohol have on them because people are giving them to children. Children aren't consuming cigarettes and alcohol and asbestos, but what they are consuming is processed meat in the form of ham, bacon, salami, and frankfurters. and meat sticks. Okay. So stop giving your kids group one carcinogens. Okay. Childhood diseases are a thing, and I wouldn't be surprised if there is a link to consuming hot dogs in particular, because a lot of people feed their children hot dogs. Feed them veggie dogs instead. Okay, or the Morningstar brand, you can get them at Walmart. They're $4 for a box. Comes with 8. We just had those the other night. My kids love them. Okay, feed them those instead. Okay, almost done here. All right. Now, it just gets me that people like these doctors, these carnivore doctors, are touting meat as an anti-aging food when, according to the National Library of Medicine and the Advanced Glycation End Products in Foods and a Practical Guide to Their Reduction in the Diet, this is a peer-reviewed, primary-based research article, that dietary advanced glycation end products are known to contribute to increased oxidant stress and inflammation. These are the factors that promote aging. They also are linked to diabetes and cardiovascular disease and chronic disease in general, all right? Animal-derived foods that are high in fat protein are generally AGE rich and prone to new AGE formation during cooking. Isn't it ironic that AGE is the acronym for advanced glycation end products? The foods that are highest in advanced glycation end products are the ones that promote aging. In contrast, carbohydrate-rich foods such as fruits, vegetables, and whole grains contain relatively few AGEs even after cooking. So, Dr. Paul Saladino, animal-derived foods that are high in fat and protein are high in advanced glycation end products, which promote aging. So, what he is telling his audience is, in fact, wrong information. So, as a physician, telling your audience who trusts you because you're a physician to eat animal foods for vitality and longevity, when in fact it's going to make them sick because it's going to plant the foundation for insulin resistance, which opens the door to all the other chronic diseases. So then he as a physician, can profit off of these patients that he's now created. So they come to him for weight loss advice, usually health advice, and what they end up with is a chronic disease from the advice from these carnivore doctors. Okay, it's really sad. I want this to end. I really think that people deserve the truth. They deserve better, because you're just taking advantage of vulnerable folks. But I'm getting them on my channel too. There's like, who do you think you are? Like, thinking that you know more than these doctors. I do though. I'm more educated, nutritionally speaking, and I understand the impact that eating a high fat animal based diet does to the human body. I've watched an open heart surgery. I was gonna be a physician assistant, so I did a lot of shadowing. I saw the disease in people. And then I started understanding that it was because of what they were eating. Okay, so now, fast forward at 15 years, and here I am trying to tell people that eating an animal-based diet promotes the disease that I was seeing in people, and that's still happening, at an exponential rate. Now, the rate of sugar consumption has gone down statistically, and the rates of chronic disease have continued to rise. The less sugar and carbohydrates people eat, the more fat and protein they eat by default, as well as artificial sweeteners. So, if you can understand that carbohydrates are not the problem, they're not the enemy, then you can start the path towards real health and vitality and longevity. Okay, that is it for this video. I gotta go see what my little guy is up to. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave any comments and questions down below. Let me know what you'd like to see more of from me, especially in the shorts. I like to, analyze people. I find it a lot of fun. It's easy for me to do. Also, my coaching program is not on sale anymore. It was on sale in January, but it's still available for you to get if you are interested in having all the information that you need in order to make the best decisions for your health, but also my coaching group, which is what I recommend to get alongside of my coaching program so that you can ask me questions, you can send me blood work, you can get my advice on helping to troubleshoot issues that you might be having, whatever it is. My Ask Nutrition by Victoria coaching group is currently on sale for the month of February. So take advantage of this offer. It is $50 off. It's a lifetime membership to my private Facebook group for unlimited Q&A coaching and exclusive video content from my YouTube channel. So basically, whatever you request, I will make if you're in the group. So you can ask any and every question related to metabolism, health, fitness, diet, weight loss / gain, because some people do need to gain weight, fat loss, muscle building, digestion, adaptive thermogenesis, aka metabolic damage, pregnancy, breastfeeding, hormones, genetics, raising kids, etc. It's all game. And I highly recommend this group as a follow-up to a one-on-one coaching session or my coaching program. So please consider this as an option if you're not already in my group. And the members who are in my group, they get a lot out of it. Some disappear for a while and come back. Some don't even post, and I think they just read what I, comment to other people posting. There's an archive, so you can search. Let's say you want fat loss, right? You can put fat loss in, it'll bring up everything that has been posted about fat loss. And you'll see that all my answers are very consistent with my message on here. Okay. So, but it gets to be a bit more personalized in the coaching group. So please consider that if you haven't already. Like I said, my program's still available. There's also a bundle where you can get the program and the group, and that does include currently the discount for the coaching group if you want to do the bundle because you don't have the program yet. And then I also have a trial membership or a 1 month membership, so you can do month to month for my coaching group as well. And then I have my one-on-one coaching sessions available, which I've been booking a lot of lately. I really enjoy talking to you guys one-on-one. Sometimes it's a lot easier to troubleshoot some issues you might be having, and also to just get to like the nitty gritty of what you need to be doing in a one-on-one coaching session. So you can just consider that as an option as well. So lots that I have available for you to, get the help that you need to become more insulin sensitive today and, start working towards improving your health and your, losing weight if that's a goal, improving your fitness, whatever it is that you need. Okay. That's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and share if you haven't already, and also subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.